What a win for the Titans indeed, going into Los Angeles and taking down the Rams 28-16 last night, cementing their place atop the AFC at 7-2. Mike Vrabel's talked a lot during this team's winning streak, really all season long, about the resilience of this team. Think about it. They've gone to 3 overtime games, played 9 straight weeks to start the season. They've had the toughest schedule in the NFL. They just keep finding ways to win. 6-0 against playoff teams. They've had more injuries than anybody around the league at this point, and they keep finding ways to win. Mike Vrabel's talked about how much he enjoys this team, how much he feels honored and loves having the opportunity to coach these guys. And last night maybe exemplified the best of that, because he got absolutely everything out of this team last night. Credit the game plan that Mike Vrabel had, Shane Bowen, defensive coordinator, Todd Downing, the offensive coordinator. They put these guys in position to have a chance to win in Los Angeles, and then the players went out and executed. That's the other part. You can put in the game plan. You can teach them up. You can coach them up. But at some point, the players have to go out and do it. And these guys have done it week in and week out this season, and there's a huge credit to them. And after the game, it was a very, 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 very happy locker room because of what they were able to go out and do. And Mike Vrabel, again, very humble and very appreciative of his opportunity to coach this football team that's now won 5 in a row, including an impressive 28-16 win over the Rams in L.A. to get to 7-2.
Those guys played fantastic. It was fun to watch them play. I thought Shane called a great game. I thought all the assistants were ready to go to make adjustments. But all the credit goes to the players. Obviously, the impact that the front had and the pressure, to force him into some bad decisions.
You had such a focus on turnovers earlier this year. Wasn't successful. Two early ones led to scores. So was that focus you put on like the key to that? Or?
Well, I hope that it is. I think we got to still continue to try to hammer the football out. But, when you can force quarterbacks in this league, just like, they did sometimes to Ryan, if you can force them into bad decisions. And, we really have, I think that group is playing with a lot of confidence right now to be able to come in here and, play the way they did and, hold them to field goals and play great in the red zone. All those situational situations that we had where it was third down or red zone, we really came up big, and that's been an improvement for us this year.
Did you anticipate this could be one of those games where the yardage was out of whack and it wouldn't match up with the scoreboard, or just kind of turn out that way?
Yeah, I don't really try to anticipate how the game's going to go. You go out there and you get a sense for how it's going. You could tell early on yards were going to be hard to come by, so all the little things that we talk about with details and penalties and not doing stuff to hurt the team and turnovers, all those things make a huge difference.
How about the team-wide reaction this week, losing Derek and then coming with a performance like this?
We've moved on to, since Derek, we knew that he wasn't going to be with us early in the week. I felt like the guys responded, had a great week. Coaches got players ready that weren't here, and they played in the game, and they made plays to help us win.
What was the Higbee touchdown that was overturned? What was that like from your perspective?
Same one it was for you. I don't get an extra replay. I just get the same ones you guys get. It looked like his foot was out of bounds.
I say anything about why it takes so long, Mike? It's pretty.
Guys, they have a Twitter site that's at NFL officiating. Just tweet at them. I don't, I don't get any special answers. So just tweet them and see if they respond to you.
Like how big was the Monty Hooker tackle within the Bud pressure?
It was absolutely critical, and I think that they, Monty worked his way through the trash, and, they probably tried to pick him off and made a fantastic tackle. And then for Bud to, factor on that play, it was a huge play. We weren't trying to hang on by any means. It just was, tough sledding there. I thought we came up with a huge drive. They helped us out, but we went down there and we were able to finish off. And Ryan threw a great ball. AJ came up big when it mattered. And then we were able to punch it in there in the end zone.
How big was the fact that your front four, you guys are getting pressure, they're able to drop 7? How big is that for your pass defense against a team like that?
And then we can continue. I think that now that we're starting to see some of that, hopefully we can start to marry some of that and not take some chances, but understand that the ball is coming out here pretty quick. I think he was able to progress through a few times, but they're going to block us. But hopefully that we can continue to have some success with rushing four and mixing in some pressure.
Was one of your coaching points for the guys to match hands with the quarterbacks? Because they did that a lot.
Well, that's something that we've always done. I mean, that's part of ball disruption. That's part of our practice routine. Matching the quarterback's throwing hand, stabbing through the pocket, hammering, raking, all those things that we coach. And I think that the more that they see themselves do it on film and then they're holding each other accountable to get turnovers, and the offense is obviously taking care of we want to take care of the football. You can start to do some really good things.
What kind of contribution do you think Adrian made?
I thought he played physical. I thought he, brought an energy and a professionalism, and we'll continue to, he hasn't run behind this line, and we didn't have a practice that was a full speed padded practice because where we were in the season. So, I'm sure there's a lot of things that he would like to have had back or cuts, and we were battling, and I give our guys a lot of credit for competing.
Would you know that you were going to be without Taylor, and I guess the group as a whole? How'd you think you did up front protect?
Well, I mean, I think that this is a very good, excellent defense. But I enjoy watching those guys play and compete. Quiz was a captain for us today. Obviously, Roger coming back home. Ben Jones is the glue. And then, Brew being able to step up in there, and, I'm sure he'll be finishing all over the place, and I'm sure there'll be some plays that he'd like to have back. And then, Bobby stepped in. Bobby's played in this league, and, he was, ready to go.
Was it a thing where Taylor tried to see what he could do in warm-ups?
Yeah, Taylor just was unavailable today. It was going to be an emergency role.
Mike, how much have you seen growth from Jeffrey Simmons over time?
Well, he's been a fantastic person, leader, contributor for us since the day that we drafted him. And, he's really playing with a lot of confidence. And I think that his technique is what's improved. He was always just a big, powerful, play hard, be disruptive player. And I think we're all starting to see some of the technique that everybody, that those guys up front are coaching them, and, he's feeling some confidence in it and showing that it works.
Mike, how important has it been to have a defense that makes these game-changing plays happen? It's 3 weeks in a row now.
I hope it doesn't run out. I know you can't rely on it, but, again, you put enough pressure, and those, I'm feeling it over on the sidelines. I'm feeling that type of pressure, and, they're doing the same thing to our guy. They're doing the same thing to our quarterback, but, I think they're all just, continue to build some confidence, and guys are catching them, when the quarterback makes bad decisions.
I think these guys did well responding to the way Ramsey tries to get under people's skin, and then it becomes a non-factor once the scoreboard kind of.
Yeah, he's a good player. We had, however many 3 penalties or 4 penalties, they had 10 or 11. So, again, there's your answer to how we responded.
Did you think he was going to be out of the game with the?
Sure, from my knowledge, yeah. When it was reported and called a taunt, and then the next one, is the penalty that would get you out of the game, and then they say, no, we changed it. Okay, then just let me know when you change it.
How much, man? This is a confident team anyway, I think, at the start of the season, but the success you've had in recent weeks, how much do you think that's helped build confidence and convince guys?
Well, success leads to confidence. Going out there and being able to view it, continue to improve, and that's the message. We're better now than what we were to start the season. And that's the most important thing in the National Football League, is that you find ways to continue to improve. You obviously have to find ways to win, but along the way you got to find ways to get better. Because if you don't, you'll find yourself, on the outside looking in, because there's a lot of teams that are going to continue to, improve, and we have to be one of those.
Titans coach Mike Vrabel right there talking about his team after the game, and he had a lot to be excited about in the way they went out and continued to improve, and they have continued to improve in this stretch, and they now find themselves on top of the AFC. Much more from the Titans ahead on this program, plus your phone calls, 737-7767. The lines are wide open if you want to get in your thoughts on the game last night or where this team stands right now. They're doing something pretty special. We'll talk about that when we come back. This is Titans Talk on News Channel 5 Plus.